The weather for the past 3 days has been absolutely bonkers. We have had just non-stop rain, and I was going to do a video about drainage because it's important when you need it. It's like being in a boat that's sinking. You don't really think about your life jacket until that point. It's like, life jackets are really important. I guess I could use one right now. Like a set of pipes in the ground that take water away. And while I was working on my place, it never really occurred to me to go looking around to see what else is going on here in the province of BC where I live. But it turns out there's a lot of really bad things going on. There's a whole city of 7,000 people, a city called Merritt, that has to be evacuated because they flooded out completely. And actually, more importantly, it flooded out the waste management system, so the sewer system. And as such, that is now floating around all over the city. It's an absolute nightmare. And I'm making a drainage video about my trickles of water that are draining away fast enough for me, and it creates a few puddles and stuff. And then I took a drive, and I could not believe how much just locally was going on. I got a buddy's place that just is, it's a lake, and then there is a eventing, or like a horse competition and eventing place. It's huge. It's the biggest one around here, that's for sure. Totally flooded out, and the roads just flooded in these flatter areas. So anyways, but I do want to talk about drainage. I do think it's really important. It's very unusual to get this kind of weather around here. We have, I think they said that nobody has ever seen this much rain, ever. The world is really going weird. This summertime was 50 degrees Celsius roundabouts at its highest point. We had a huge, a really big heat wave that came through. Called it the Dome of Heat, I think it was. We got up to 47 degrees here for sure, but I think a record was set around 49 degrees Celsius. And it was really hot. One of our cities up the same way, actually, I think it was Lytton. Anyways, burnt to the ground because we had forest fires and just razed the whole place. So British Columbia is taking some hits. I know other places are in the world, but I live in British Columbia, so I'll talk about it for now. But with this, what is happening? The Earth is something bad's happening, and it can be objectively seen. So we're seeing a lot of that. I'm not looking forward to this winter. Supposedly it's going to snow like crazy, but I don't know. Anyhow, so let's get on with a little bit of the video that I did take today and yesterday. Talk a little bit about drainage and to why it's important for horses. We're on day 3 of storm. Today's kind of the windiest. Well, last night was pretty bad. Trees are swaying away. Little bits and pieces of branches are coming down, but so far so good. Windy. Wind is the enemy. Rain, well, path's getting a little bit. Well, I did a video yesterday. Let's play that first. Usually try to bring you guys along for the sunny days, but we have had nothing but rain. Today's been especially bad. Come to check out my little drain though. Make sure it's draining out this center section, because this is where it's all going to get trapped thanks to the pathway that I made. So I tried to put in a drain point where I thought everything would flow, and that comes scooching out over here. Unfortunately, there is so much rain that it actually has flooded over the pathway a bit over here, so I need to do one of two things: make a better drain or build the pathway up a little. I think I might just build this pathway up a little right here. Now I know. It's a lot of water, a lot of rain. I'm soaked. Been working on the drainage for the last half hour or so, but that's just part and par for the course. How's that work? It's par for the course, part and parcel, and par for the course. Here, look at this. my own little pond. My archery target fell apart. Another pond over here. It's insane. We have a lot of rain. So, and then over here also is building up an awful lot. I think what I might have to do is put in a drain that goes underneath this pathway to drain this area in here without it having to come across the path and stuff. But you kind of discover these things after you build stuff. After you've gone through an effort of doing stuff and you think you've done enough, you think you put in the drainage you need to put in, and it's like, oh, the land doesn't quite comply. What's she looking at? You worried about me? Hello, Yoka. She says, yeah, a little. Soaking. This area here, right? It drains this area. This ditch, this big ditch that I made bigger. It is now full. Water coming from everywhere. Everybody's fed. Taking care of horses first, then working on the land. But the pond, I don't know if anybody remembers the summertime when it was so low. Now, it drains out of here. This drains this area over here. And all those paddocks generally drain into the pond here, which is chock-a-block full. And the water is coming out like no tomorrow. Oh, I can't get it to zoom. My fingers are too wet. Yeah, well, something like that. Over that way. So, anyhow, we are working in the rain today. Or at least, I'm working in the rain today. And that's the way it goes. But I thought I'd bring you guys along a little bit for that, to see that it rains here as well. It's not just beautiful days and sunny weather. So, once all that water now comes down here, this area is full up, and of course one of us wasn't smart enough to chuck a drain. Hazards. Oh, lens is getting wet. Anyhow, one of us wasn't smart enough to chuck a drain in here for this water to escape properly. Goodness, eh? Huh. It's just gusty. It's not that bad. It looks bad. I mean, it's a little scary here and there. But, you know. Anyways, I can't stress how important it is to have good, look at this pile of poop we got. Cleaning up horses, doing horse chores this morning. I thought I'd get you guys in on a little bit of the storm that's going on. You can see Gracie. She's probably the most nervous of everybody. Everybody else just kind of just stands around, eats, and takes it easy. But she really hates the wind. These guys worry me a little. They're cottonwoods, so not the safest place to be. Little branches fall off of those guys all the time, as you can see down here. A lot of little branches. Not too many big ones. Okay, let's get on with things, and maybe I'll cover a little bit more of, I don't know, it's raining. Drainage. Talking about drainage. So it's a good opportunity. So, in the end, the wind was actually my worst enemy today, and this happened. Now, it's not a big deal. The tree is not very big, but it did make a big mess. So, cleanup billions of branches immediately commenced. To my amusement and a little bit of frustration, Mr. Wild actually came over and started taking branches out of the wheelbarrow that I was putting them into. What a guy. But drainage is a really big deal. And I did end up fixing the pathway a little bit. All fixed. No more water over this pathway. And I also ended up digging out a little bit of a ditch for the water that's back at the very back to drain away. Yep. Got the water to flow away a little bit better. This little drainage pipe is the bomb. Out it goes out of the center. Over there. Ta-da! And can drain this area in here a little bit because it's kind of a pond. Too much rain. And the important thing to think about if you're going to ever have a place, and I've mentioned this before, I have other drainage videos up where I talk more about the exact drainage that's going on around here. But we want to be able to carry water away from the places we don't want it to be. One of the ways that we can really assist in that is to make sure that the areas that we want to keep available for the horses either has a grade or is raised up above the level of what the rest of the area is, so that the water goes away. And in days like today, it's impossible. I mean, all the footage that I showed you, there would be nothing that could protect against that. But I've tried really hard to make sure that this place does stay dry, even under the worst circumstances, which I learned from last year, which is why during the summertime I dug out the ditch much bigger, and I created a full drain that would then also leave that ditch at a lower level. But you know, Mother Nature tests us and is sure to let us know where we don't have things quite right. In this case, a minor amount of water, but all the same, we're looking for the highest quality of footing that we can get for the horses. A lot of people do complain about getting thrush in their horses' feet, and there is some correlation as whether or not they would get it more likely to get it if the ground is really wet and soggy and never dries out and stuff like that. So I've made a very concentrated effort in that regard. Making sure that your ground is either graded or higher, the water has somewhere to go, and in some cases you have to rebuild certain things. You have to put in new ditches or new pipes or dig a trench, and it takes time, takes a bit of effort, but you know, if you just keep at it bit by bit, as I've done here, there's obviously so many pieces that have gone in after the fact, and I will still be working after the fact as well, especially in that back area, to make sure that water can continue to keep on going down, keep on going to the drainage, the drainways, the waterways, the streams that they're supposed to make it to. Especially if we have sand areas and gravel areas that no longer absorb water. I've created a piece of land that actually doesn't absorb water very well, unfortunately. So I must find ways to make it go away. But hopefully that's been kind of interesting. It definitely is. It's a strange year this year, and I hope everybody's doing okay otherwise. I know that Australia, just in summertime, for our summertime, their wintertime, they had floods. And so things are kind of going a little bit sideways. We have to do what we can to help out and obviously keep our immediate environments safer. And in our case, healthier for the horses. So if you have any questions or any thoughts, let me know in the comments below. I will get back to you. And that's it for today. So thanks for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.